Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another Destiny 2 weekly reset video. My name is Story and today is the 12th of November. Can you smell Christmas already? This means one thing, we're running up until the 19th because that's the way things work around here. Anyway, what have we got to play with in Destiny 2 this week? Let's have a look then, shall we? If you're new to the game, this is the tower. This is the tower map, and all these little icons represent vendors. There are plenty of vendors throughout the game that will offer you bounties, quests, missions, adventures, and other bits and pieces. If you go out there and do those things, in return, you will be given powerful gear or exotics or maybe a slap on the wrist or nothing at all. It depends. But anyway, vendors are your source of good things. For example, let's have a look at spare parts. This is the Gunsmith's weekly challenge, complete gunsmith bounties. There are a variety of bounties that are available on a daily reset. There are 2 weeklies and 3 dailies, so you get to do 3 dailies per day and 2 weeklies, so that's 5 on the first 24-hour period, and then you'll have to go back and pick up 3 more to finish off this weekly challenge. But you get some tier 1 powerful loot in return. Then we've got Crucible stuff, pick up 8 bounties and complete 8 of them. This is slightly different because there are bounties that will be pick-upable, let's say, immediately after you've finished everything. So you can do that all in one day, if you like, if you're grinding quite intensely. And for the same for the Vanguard service as well, complete 8 bounties for your powerful tier 1 gear. Then if you're a member of a clan, then you can get some tier 2 loot by earning 5,000 XP on your characters. You can do that for all 3 characters and earn 3 times powerful gear tier 2. Then there is some shady schemes, the Drifters weekly bounties. 8 of those will get you some powerful tier 1 loot. You may as well check all the vendors in the rest of the universe because they also have little challenges that will reward you with things as well. But there you go, that is the tower map. Isn't it fantastic? Then we'll go to destinations and have a little look at all the playlists. We've got our Vanguard playlist right here. We've got some daily heroic story missions if you want to replay some of those story missions in a slightly more meatier difficulty. Then we've got Vanguard strikes. There's also a weekly here, complete Vanguard bounties during the week. 3 of those bounties complete and you'll get some powerful tier 1 loot. Then there is the Nightfall, the Ordeal. This is the heavy duty of the stuff that can award quite a lot of really tasty bits of loot. Adept level will get you some a chance at some exotics. It's very rare that happens. And then enhancement cores, slightly uncommon. Then hero level difficulty, uncommon on the exotics, uncommon on the enhancement cores, and very rare on the prisms. Then there's legend difficulty, which has no matchmaking, so you have to go in a preformed team. Exotic gear is very common, kind of, and then enhancement prisms slightly uncommon. And then we've got master level difficulty. That's a tongue twister. At 980 power, exotic gear common, enhancement prisms common, and ascendant shards uncommon, for example. And then we've got the weekly challenges as well. Run through the ordeal a number of times. Higher level difficulties will progress you further. That will get you powerful gear at tier 1. Then there is complete the Nightfall ordeal with a team score above 100,000 points, and that will get you pinnacle loot. Then of course we've got our normal Nightfall strikes playlist. The 3 Nightfalls this week are Lake of Shadows, Exodus Crash, and the Festering Core. Now these Nightfalls will have some strike specific loot which is only available by grinding out the strikes, and the more time you do it, it increases your chances of getting this loot at the end of the strike. Lake of Shadows, for example, has the Militia's Birthright kinetic grenade launcher. It's not poop, it's really good, but it's a pain in the posterior in the Crucible to play against. Anyway, grind out that for one of those. Then we've got Exodus Crash, which has the impact velocity. That is a exotic sparrow, if you fancy a new whip. There it is. And then there's the Festering Core, which I don't think anybody knows what the strike specific loot, or even if there is any for this strike, because it's fairly new to the playlist. So if you do know, slap it in the comments and be the first to share the wealth with all your Guardian friends. Okay, next on the playlist is Gambit. We've got a 4-person activity here that's cooperative. There is matchmaking and it has some different tiers of stuff. This will get you various bits and pieces of gear. If you're grinding a spare rations, then you'll be looking for a very certain boss, the Likeness of Oryx. There's 2 bosses, a bunch of knights that slap you with big axes, and then there's the Likeness of Oryx, which tries to burn you alive. If it's Oryx, then you may get a spare rations. for example, if you love those hand cannons. I do. Anyway, there's a Void Singe burn for the week and Grenadier as the mods for the day. There you go. And then there's Gambit and Gambit Prime. If you complete matches, 3 of them, throughout these 2 playlists, you'll get some powerful tier 2 loot, not forgetting your weekly challenges from the Drifter as well. Nice. In Crucible, what have we got? Well, we've got some rotator playlists and then core playlists. The rotator playlists are at the top here. Momentum Control. We have Crucible Labs, which is an elimination, and we have Lockdown. So those are your rotator playlists. 4 games of those will get you some powerful gear. And that's not 4 wins or 4 losses. It's either or, because it's 4 games completed in that rotary playlist just up there. The core playlist is here. And 4 of the games here will get you some powerful loot at a tier 1 as well. And that includes Classic Mix. There you go. Nicely nice. The flashpoint this week, if you can smell it, can you smell it? It is on Mars, which is one of your favourite planets, because not only does Mars have the flashpoint this week, it has Escalation Protocol. So if you're grinding out weapons in Escalation Protocol, the shotgun, the SMG and the sniper happen to be dropping. So if you're looking to add those to your collection and complete triumphs and collections and whatnot, this is the week to do it faithfully. But anyway, what's a flashpoint? Well, if you go and do public events and loot lost sectors and open chests, that will give you some progress towards a flashpoint, and you can check on your progress just here. As soon as the activities completed bar reaches 100%, you'll get some powerful gear tier 1 from this lovely lady here. Isn't that nice, Anna Bray? Isn't she lovely? There you go. That is the flashpoint, and that is on Mars. Over on the Dreaming City, the Ascendant Challenge is in the spine of Keres. So if you're after the Ascendant Challenge, that's where you can find it. The Dreaming City Curse is on week 2, for those that are interested in that. The Leviathan Raid order is Gauntlet, Dogs, the Baths, and then, of course, Callus. That is the order of that business. We're going to have a look at the Gunsmith, because he does daily mods, which you might be interested in getting. It's a very good idea to keep popping over to this gentleman here each day, because these weapon mods and armor mods will rotate on a 24-hour basis. Today is Unflinching Auto Rifle Aim and Boss Spec. Very, very useful for heavy weapons when you're dishing out damage to bosses and whatnot. And here are your bounties that you would collect. In fact, let's collect them now before we forget. We're going to hop on over to the Leviathan Raid Vendor and have a look at the gear, because that is armor version 2.0 and is worth having a snifter at. I'll meet you there. Benadingle Cubbage Patch, here he is. So we've got the Spire of Stars helmet, Spire of Stars gauntlets, the Leviathan Prestige chest piece, very nice looking chest piece for a war like this. I do enjoy it very much, Armor 2.0. And then we've got the Eater of Worlds boots, we've got normal Leviathan class item, and the Ghost Primus auto rifle. Now we've got another Leviathan Raid vendor over on Nessus. I'll show you where it is before I fast travel over there myself, and we'll have a look at his stock. It's just here he is. We're going to go there right now. Werner, here you are. Right then, we've got Eater of Worlds helmet, Eater of Worlds gauntlets, normal Leviathan chest piece, Prestige Leviathan boots, the Spire of Stars class item, and the Mob Justice machine gun. Nice. Now we're going to wrap up the video here by having a look at our very favourite, our very own Tess Eververse store. You can access this via your director screen, or you can go over to the tower and go and see her in person. But we're doing the quick and easy route today because we're incredibly lazy after a very long, hard day at work. How's about that then? It's all the same though, right here in front of you. Festival of the Lost is still on. It's still swinging in full swing. We've got in the exclusive featured section, we've got the Desmoda's ship. We've got the Heretic robe ornament for Thorn. We have the Jensen relic shell there. Bone boogie. We've got a Hiver lantern projection. And of course, we've got our usual nostalgic engram bundles. For Bright Dust in the featured section, we've got these Vanguard boons here. We've got Dark Fluorescent Shader, Skelly Ghoul, Murderer Crows. We've got the Necro Beast, exotic Sparrow, and Boo ornament for a whopping amount of Bright Dusk. As you can see, I'm broke. Now, the event still has its own bits and pieces that you can buy for silver here with your own cash. And there it is. You can have a good look through all of that stuff right there. Then there's the seasonal bits and pieces. This is the stuff that's ornaments and finisher moves, all kinds of varieties of stuff that's available throughout the season. And you can find that in this section here. There's plenty of stuff to be getting on with there and having a good perusal over. Then there's the archive from stuff, a small selection of stuff from previous seasons. So you can get your mitts on that if that is your kind of fancy. And then there's the stuff that's available for Bright Dust in this section here. We have Parting, an emote that sniffs the flowers, Gentian Relic Shell, the Chiropteran Shell, the Necrobeast, the Broomswept Knight, exotic Broom Sparrow. Look at that. Isn't that nice? And then there's the Omnigul Mask and the Jack-o'-lantern Mask. And then we've got those shaders and bits and pieces there. This is actually quite a nice shader, Basalt Toxic. Look at it. Are you Basalt? Are you Toxic? Well, this is the stuff for you. And there's a particular Warlock helmet ornament. I'll show you it. I know it's a bit naughty to waste time on this kind of thing. But for example, this helmet, I think it looks pretty cool on. I know I've got some somewhere. There they are. You know, the whole setup, your Warlock in that kind of business. I like it anyway. There you go. Anyway, have an absolutely fantastic week in Destiny 2 this week. I hope you get all the things that you're grinding for and you have a lovely time with your friends and your family. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And remember, sprinkle some souls on everything. It makes it taste saltier.